Welcome back to Chow Time Pod. It's your host, Rip. Got videos today from men only. 63% of men are going their own way. Mid-house growing. Please like and subscribe down below. I really appreciate that. See that Chow. It's Chow Time.
I've just honestly gotten to the point that dating in 2024 is an absolute joke. Like, I'm starting to notice people don't even like holding hands in public anymore, especially if you don't know them.
Hey fellas, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a surprising statistic. 63% of young men are going their own way. We'll explore what's driving this shift, how it's impacting the dating world, and the reasons behind more young men opting out of traditional relationships. If you're ready to dig into this trend, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Let's get started.
63% of men are now single, whilst only 34% of women are single. This is from Pew Research. What is the most amount of dates you've had in 1 week?
In 1 week?
1 week, correct.
I would say 5.
Even an average girl, like 5 out of 10 girl, she can go on a date
Bro, she's a little bit below.
every single night of the week. And that's just like how society is right now. The thing is, guys are fully aware of this. Guys know that like, okay, I'm going to be her Tuesday slot. Then there's going to be a Wednesday and a Thursday, right? One of the big things that we see right now is men are going their own way because it's gotten to the point where guys aren't feeling respected in the dating market. They just feel like they're being used for money and that respect element isn't there. So from a girl's point of view, there are some girls who will just go on like date after date after date, still expect the guy.
There's plenty of girls that date serially. They're trying to pinpoint the right one, but they don't because they still don't want to lose their other options.
Guy to pay for every single one. The traditional standard for the guy of being the gentleman, being the one who pays, that's still there. But then the ladylike aspect for the women, that's no longer a thing, right?
Correct.
More and more men are going their own way because they've finally woken up to the harsh reality of today's dating market. It's not about finding love or building a life together anymore. It's about being used for money, as a free meal ticket, and never getting the respect that men deserve. The sad truth is, men have realized they're being slotted into roles where they're expected to give and give, but when it comes time for women to reciprocate, crickets. Most men today know that the juice just ain't worth the squeeze anymore. It's tragic, but it's the reality. So many women today are selfish, uncaring, and greedy. They've been conditioned to expect everything: a lifestyle, financial stability, attention, adoration. But what do they offer in return? Nothing but complaints and
There's plenty of young men still thinking that women can't do no wrong. I even see in my comic section here and there that just men are still so lost. Not saying that all blue pill men are completely lost. Some choose to be that way, in my opinion, too, because they know it. But also remember, we don't listen to anything because our ears are fucked up until we hit our face on the ground. And then we're like, oh, yeah, all the guys were right.
expectations. The modern dating scene has become a game of take, and men are fed up. These same women talk about equality when it suits them, but the second they're asked to be equals in a relationship, they backpedal. Where's the equality when it comes to supporting each other, raising a family, and being partners? For many of them, it's not even on the radar. They're more focused on themselves, chasing fleeting satisfaction while ignoring what truly matters: family, children, commitment. They want the benefits of a relationship without putting in the effort or care. Men are finally becoming aware of this, and they're opting out. Who wants to stay in that slot, endlessly giving while never receiving anything meaningful in return? It's no wonder men are walking away from the dating market altogether.
And it's funny because young guys haven't fully experienced it, but they see us. They see content like this. They come over here and be like, is this shit real or what?
When respect, loyalty, and genuine partnership are nowhere to be found, the only logical choice is to step out of the game. And the irony? The same women who pushed men to this point are the ones crying about where all the good men have gone. But they're too late. Men have figured it out. The juice isn't worth the squeeze, and we're done playing.
Listen, I'm not a green flag. I'm also not a red flag. I'm a white flag because I gave up on dating forever. So leave me alone. Don't even ask.
My
okay?
bad.
Bye. For all of you that are wondering why I'm still single, it's because all the ladies I meet be calling me Zach. Because every single one of them be wondering what the F wrong with me.
It's no surprise that so many young men have just thrown in the towel when it comes to dating these days. The red flags are flying left and right, and honestly, it's overwhelming. Modern dating has become a minefield, with men navigating through unrealistic expectations, entitlement, and the constant feeling of being undervalued. A lot of guys are seeing the same patterns over and over. Flaky behavior, emotional gain.
You know, it's so funny because when men date, we experience similar things. And it's really somewhat not men's fault, but somewhat men's fault. But when women experience the exact same things, it's their fault because they literally pick the same men. We pick a variety of different women, and they all end up very similar. From good looking fours to whatever fours to decent sixes, somewhat eights, and, fucking whatever fives. They all seem to be gold digging whores.
Games, and lack of genuine connection. The dating market has become so skewed that men are expected to put in all the effort, time, and resources, only to end up feeling like they're just an option or a convenience. Who can blame them for walking away? It's not that men don't want relationships or aren't interested in love. The issue is that the current dating environment makes it so hard to find someone who is truly genuine, someone who's not just looking for attention, a free meal, or validation. Men are tired of the games and the constant red flags. Whether it's women who can't communicate honestly, expect men to chase endlessly, or those who are obsessed with social media validation. These young men aren't being cynical. They're being realistic. They're seeing the writing on the wall and realizing that jumping through hoops for someone who might just be using them isn't worth the hassle. Why would they put themselves out there when the reward often doesn't match the effort? So many of these guys have been burned by situations where they've invested emotionally and financially, only to be met with cold shoulders, endless games, or someone who was never really interested in them in the first place. It's no wonder they're opting out. Why chase after someone who throws up red flags at every turn? The truth is, young men today...
I mean, the red flags are just the beginning of it. It's the resources that these men are spending, that we are all spending on these women. It's not cheap, especially with this economy.
Are just more aware. They're realizing that they don't have to settle for less or put up with behavior that disrespects them. They're not giving up on love. They're giving up on the nonsense that's been dressed up as love in today's dating scene.
Where are you guys finding men to like? Where are they? Where are you guys getting them from?
Again, with this, kitchen curtains, as that one lady calls them.
Where are you collecting men that you genuinely like and have an interest in? Where are you getting them from? Because I haven't liked a man in years, and I'm just perplexed by the fact that some of you have a new crush every 3 to 4 business days. Where are you getting these men to like? Where are they? Where are they? Are they on Amazon? Where? Send me the link. Send me the link. I'm writing it down. Hurry up. Quick.
How desperate they are.
Where are you getting them? Every week you have a new man of interest, a new date, a new potential. Where are you getting them from? How are you finding these men to actually fancy and have a crush on?
See, when these women become post-wall, their standards become so ridiculous that they just don't see any man ever meeting their criteria, and they know no man will meet their criteria, but they still want it. That's the most delusional shit.
I don't even have a crush on a celebrity. Where are you finding men to like?
Lies. If Chris
I just
Brown
wanna like
wanted
a
to
man.
slide in her DMs,
Is that too
she'd be all
hard
over
to
it.
ask for? Where are you finding men to like? Send me the link. I'm writing it down. Chop chop.
Here's the thing. Disney fairy tales and modern media have painted this unrealistic picture of what love and relationships are supposed to be like,
Men
and
do
a lot of
everything.
women have bought into it. They've been sold this fantasy of the perfect guy sweeping them off their feet, never having to compromise or put in the effort, and that all men are just waiting in line to cater to their every whim.
Mm.
But reality? That's a whole different story, and many women don't want to hear it. The sad truth is that many women today don't even like men. Not really. They've been influenced by years of propaganda that tells them men are the problem, men are the enemy.
It's sad that a lot of these young women haven't even experienced these bad things, but they know a lot of 20-year-olds that are a little bit older, 30-year-olds, and these women instill a lot of these fear and like man-hating ideology to these women, and they've never experienced bad experiences.
And that they don't need men for anything beyond material gain. And the few who do like men, they don't even understand what men want or need in a relationship. They're clueless about what makes a man tick, what he values, and how to truly connect with him. It's tough out there for men in the modern world. They're constantly dealing with women who are way too picky, while at the same time, the pool of potential partners is already small. Women are turning their noses up at good men because they don't fit this idealized version they have in their heads. They expect perfection without realizing that relationships require mutual effort, understanding, and compromise. And the outcome? More and more men are choosing to go their own way. They're done with the drama, the chaos, and the unreasonably high standards that modern women bring to the table. Instead, they're focusing on bettering themselves, working on their own goals, and finding peace without the unnecessary stress of dealing with women who don't value them. Ladies, the pool of good men is shrinking because men are waking up to the fact that the juice just isn't worth the squeeze anymore. Why would they stick around for women who don't appreciate them or understand what they bring to the table? Men are tired of the games, the disrespect, and the constant feeling that they're never good enough. So they're opting out, and honestly, who can blame them?
Okay, girls, we constantly talk about how we want men to treat us, but how are you treating men?
Yeah.
How are you treating men?
How are you?
Are you dating them just as much as they're dating you? Yeah, they're opening the door for you, they're paying the bill, they are absolutely complimenting you to the freaking walls, to the sky, to the moon. They're complimenting you.
DMs
But are you dating
everywhere.
them? Are you getting them cheeky little gifts?
Nope.
Are you over-exaggerating how much you absolutely love getting flowers from them, and therefore you pick out a flower from that bouquet and give it back to them?
What is she talking about? I've never had that happen. Is that what's supposed to happen?
Are you buying them a shirt and saying, hey babe, I think you're going to look cute in this? Are you buying them cologne and go smell it and go like, I can see you wearing this? I'm just confused. Are you dating them as much as they're dating you?
It's no wonder men are pulling away from relationships.
I like this one.
These days, it feels like men are more scared of women than anything else. And honestly, can you blame them? The dating landscape has changed so much, and for a lot of guys, it's just not worth the effort anymore.
I wouldn't say that they're scared of women. It's just they don't even want to deal with it. What's they're scared of? They just got to stay away, and women are powerless against men.
It's like we've lost the value we used to have, and some women are just dating us for what they can get, not for who we are. You see it all the time. Men being treated like ATMs, only valued for the money we can provide. Conversations feel one-sided, and the effort rarely gets reciprocated. It's frustrating. We're out here trying to connect, but some women can't even hold a decent conversation, let alone put in the effort to build something meaningful. It's always about what we can do for them, what they expect us to provide, but when it comes to romance, men often get the short end of the stick. The saddest part is, most men don't even get flowers or real appreciation until they're dead. It's like we go through life giving, providing, and trying to make someone happy, but real recognition, that doesn't come until it's too late. And it feels so one-sided. We're expected to plan dates, pay for everything, be romantic, and yet, we rarely see the same energy come back our way. Some women expect us to go above and beyond while giving the bare minimum in return. It's no surprise, then, that a lot of men are avoiding relationships altogether. Why dive into something where you're not truly valued?
And when we're doing the most, literally the most, it's bare minimum to them. That we're doing bare minimum, paying for dates, planning everything, buying them gifts. That's bare minimum. Bare minimum. But when a Chad comes, rings them at 2 p.m. or 2 a.m., come on over. There's no problem.
Why take on the stress when it feels like a constant give without much get? Men are scared of the emotional and financial risks, and many are opting out, finding peace on their own rather than dealing with the draining reality of modern dating.
Passport bros are just men who participate in check tourism, intimacy tourism. Men who are passport bros say they can't get femininity, but what they really mean is subservience and an inability to leave. Due to majority of the time going to poorer countries and seeking out women who specifically have less access to funds, you and Jeffrey Epstein have...
Shut up. You have less access to funds. You think most girls out here are fucking rich? No, most of you are broke, dusty, musty crusties. Just as bad as the women in the other countries. But at least the other women in the other countries know how to reciprocate. They know how to cook. They're willing to, raise a family. They're willing to work with us. Either way, we're getting together with broke, dusty, crusty musties.
More in common than I think even you would like to admit.
It's ironic, isn't it? This woman and her friends spent years telling men to leave them alone, to do better, to stop bothering them. And when men finally listened and decided to go abroad for love, suddenly, there's a problem. Now she's here, rage-baiting the passport brothers, upset that men are actually finding happiness elsewhere. The same men she and her sisters told to leave are now the ones thriving, and she can't stand it. It's almost like a classic case of be careful what you wish for. For years, women like her have pushed men away, telling them they're not good enough, or that they need to do more. And when these guys finally took that advice to heart, they did something for themselves. They stopped chasing after women who didn't value them, packed their bags, and went overseas to find partners who appreciate what they bring to the table.
Shame if you love me, shame if you don't love me and leave me. They just hate it either way.
But here's the kicker. Now that these men are happy, finding love, and starting families abroad, she's bitter about it. She doesn't want to admit it, but deep down, it's jealousy. These women see men moving on, living better lives, and they hate it because it proves that the problem was never the men. It was them. And instead of looking inward and asking themselves why things played out this way, they'd rather point fingers and rage bait. The truth is, these men aren't coming back. They found something real, love, respect, companionship, and they're not going to trade that in to go back to a dating scene that left them feeling unappreciated and used. So, while she sits there, angry that she can't control the narrative anymore, these passport brothers are building the lives they were told they didn't deserve. The real question is, who's really winning here? Because it's definitely not her.
We don't even have to listen to these women. Go overseas, start your family. You don't even have to be on the internet anymore if you don't want to. Unless you live, you work on the internet like me. I can go to these countries and be on YouTube and never even have to see women or talk to these women ever again. Other than through the comment section, but they're haters anyways.
Saying is, I have never once been asked by a man who could actually be a provider and who actually has money what I bring to the table. It has only ever been by men who usually make less money than me and have absolutely nothing to offer. Be so fucking for real.
I just want to know, so was the man that created a broken home with you, was he one of those dudes? I just want to ask that real quick. Okay. I thought that we just kind of retired this conversation, but I guess not. So if we're gonna go off what we just learned about Cam Newton, would that qualify you as a low functioning woman? Because clearly you're not lacking in the looks department. Shawty is fine as hell, and she's an ICU nurse. Them nurses, boy. So, and you already have a child. So if you combine those three components, I mean, what are we really about to get here?
You about to get screwed. She's not yours. She's definitely, maybe not even your turn.
So if you deal with these exclusive rich men with all this money that can be providers, why haven't one of them made you their wife yet?
Yep.
Interesting. But you were good enough to make a baby with, right? So maybe they don't see you for much outside of what you have between your legs. That's why they don't even bother asking you, because they're not trying to take you seriously. A man or a woman asking the woman or man that they're, wanting to take seriously, what are they offering on the table? Like, what are you bringing to this relationship if we were to be serious? Why do y'all take that as such an insult? Like, I think before social media and like all of the topics that we talk about, like probably 7 or 8 years ago, this wouldn't have been like an infuriating question to ask someone. But all of a sudden, we start talking about, we get TikTok and Twitter and everybody wants to go viral and make something out of nothing. Like, why does this question trigger people so bad? Because at the end of the day, you have to sell yourself.
Because they're broke, crusty, dusty, musties with no personality. All they are is, the things between their legs.
To someone, and y'all have no problem telling a company that you're interviewing for what you're bringing to the position, aka offering, what are you bringing to the table? You wouldn't have an issue with bringing that to a potential, company that wants to hire you, right? But y'all are saying in the same breath that marriage is a business. So if someone is asking you that question as a relationship, why does that trigger y'all so bad? But I peep probably what type. Because like I said, Shawty's beautiful. So I'm pretty sure she don't have no problem attracting dudes. But why are you on Raya? Ain't that like the dating app for celebrities and athletes?
Yep.
So, interesting. It puts into perspective what type of dudes you're probably chasing after. Because if I'm not mistaken, don't you have to be like invited to that type of dating app because it's exclusive to like, people with money and athletes and celebrities and shit like that? So if what got you through the door is the way you look.
It's funny how they always claim they chose to walk away from these men with money, like they're the ones holding all the cards.
Right.
The truth is, if you had something real, something worthwhile, why would you walk away from it? It's like tossing a winning lottery ticket in the trash and saying, "Oh, I didn't really need the millions." Doesn't make any sense, right? The reality is, many of these women don't bring much to the table. So when they're with men who have real value, they end up losing them because they have nothing to offer in return. They can't handle that truth, though, so they spin the narrative. "Oh, I dated guys with money, but I didn't stay because I wanted something more meaningful." Sure, that sounds nice on the surface, but we all know what's really going on. These women aren't leaving. They're getting left because they don't bring anything substantial to the relationship. It's all about status and appearances. They want to flex and say they were with a high-value man, but when it comes time to offer anything meaningful in return, whether it's emotional support, respect, or effort, they fall short. So instead of admitting that they couldn't keep a good man, they act like they walked away by choice. But you don't just
Cope. It's the best cope they got to be more delusional.
throw away a winning lottery ticket. You hold on to it for dear life. That's why their stories don't add up. It's no wonder they're upset when men stop playing the game and move on. They thought they had endless options, but in reality, the men they actually want are the ones who've realized their own worth and aren't sticking around for women who have nothing to offer. Now, they're left with the same excuses, blaming everyone but themselves, while the men they claim to walk away from are thriving.
Men used to have something really to strive for. Family, legacy, a wonderful wife to come home to, and live happily ever after. That is sorely not the case anymore. The best choice to get that here, and it's not even guaranteed, guys. Not even guaranteed. Please like throw them a love. Really appreciate that, guys. Yeah.